Well, hello there. Well, you're raising a number of questions. Number one, does Ghana understand the system? Well, I'm pretty sure he does, but it's also obvious that he must also know that he has limitations put upon himself, just like Obama. I mean, all those guys, they got nice jobs, but what kinds of jobs are they? Who is pulling the strings? I mean, they may look like they are running the show, and you may be expecting from them to act as they did, but of course they are limited precisely by what you think is an okay system. Well, it isn't. The whole system is corrupt, starting with the Federal Reserve System being a private entity that doesn't even belong to the U.S. government. It is run by the rich and for the rich. So let's get this straight. The U.S. is not a democracy. It is a smoke and mirror type of operation to embellish the advantages of the super rich. And that's what the system is all about. I call it capitalism or call it whatever, but that's the reality. Now, what do you want to do about it? Do you want to educate the people that there are means of changing things? Well, I bet you even if Ron Paul would have been elected as president, he would not have been able to do the kinds of things that that Kennedy tried to do, because that's reality. If you try to rock the boat to the extent that the rich will not see that the system is set up for their advantage, you know, you might as well create a social democratic system where corporations are not run by you know, individuals trying to enrich themselves, but by corporate entities that have a social responsibility and a social consciousness, and shareholders which are participating in you know, board level conversations, where the unions have a say in how corporations are being run. You know, you need a much greater participation of an educated population, which you do not have in the United States. You have a whole bunch of dreamers who think that some non-existing God is going to bless the country, when it is in fact going down the drain at a rate which is kind of scary, you know. And what do you want to talk about now? Whether or not Geisler knows the system or doesn't know the system, that is not even the question. Of course he does. So let's talk about another question. Let's talk about what are we going to do before the USA becomes a part of the world, of the international community, where Americans don't go around with a nose up in the air thinking that they're an island all to themselves, and where they can stay with an imperial system using Fahrenheit and feet and inches instead of being metric and being part of the international community that doesn't want to use excessive expenditures of the military to rule the world. I mean, when is that going to fall in line? Do you think that you can keep on spending all that kind of money on the military and deprive ordinary folks of a good education, and make those people who have lost family members in Iraq and in Afghanistan, you know, make them believe that they've died for a reason when there is no reason for them to be there to start with? I mean, you have to take down the smoke and mirror operation and hope that people will become politicized to the point where they can understand that if they are working people, they should be feeling like working class members of the working class, and that the super rich are not going to work for them and benefit them at all. You know, the difference between the system of slavery and slave labor and being paid peanuts for working in a factory is only on the surface. You know, if people had a consciousness, a class consciousness, and could get organized in unions and other cooperatives and start businesses as member of a cohesive society, rather than going around thinking that every American is independent and an individual and you know, that live in the best country in the world and all kinds of other bullshit that's you know, being gobbled up by everyone who hasn't got a mind of his own, and then discussing the fringe issues which don't really matter. I mean, how can you expect any progress at all? You know, and that's what you're seeing. The U.S. dollar is going to be worth nothing. The U.S. economy is finished already, and you know, life goes on. The world will survive. But what's going to come of the U.S. of A, we'll see in the next chapter. An interesting response would be appreciated. Thank you. Bye-bye.